Okay.
What? Let me
Hey,
show you
hello.
again.
You'll connect
Hi.
using audio only. Oh, wait, maybe today. Hey!
What?
Yes, look at
Wow, I
that.
didn't think it was gonna work. Oh
A,
my God, that's so
a,
exciting.
a good app update can do many things.
Yes, it was the app.
So,
All
yeah, that's
right.
good. That's good. That makes me happy.
That's good.
Hello.
Yes. Hi, everyone that has
Hello,
joined.
friends.
So I wanted to see if we could do a little banner so it could be like, what is manifestation at the top? But I don't know how to do that.
Well,
So,
we shall see. I don't, I don't know. But let us talk and then we'll figure it out. So we're back. Hi friends, we're back and now you can see me. I'm excited about that. Thank you for being here. So last time we were here, we were talking a bit about manifestation. So I'm not sure where you want to go today. You let me know.
um, I guess we could just start at the beginning. So, like,
All right.
what is manifestation at its core? Well, I'll give you my definition
Yes,
of what I
please.
do.
Mhm.
So my definition is simply put, and that's just bringing something, an idea or whatever you have in your mind into your 3D reality that you can taste, touch, feel, smell, see. Like
Mhm.
that's the simple version of it. I know there's like the whole science behind it and how it happens, but I would just keep it simple and say that. Do you agree?
I do agree. I think that that is a good, very simple definition. It's funny because literally, I made a video today that I'm going to be posting once we get off, and I was talking about this too, and that is exactly the definition I use. So it is the idea of it's the concept. Okay, well, let me. No. Manifestation is a form of creation, right? So it is bringing a thought or an idea into your into a solid state into your 3D reality. And like you said, yes, you can now go deeper into other definitions of the how behind that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Okay.
that's a simple definition.
I think that's fair. And I guess the other question that comes with that, or one of the misconceptions that I see,
Mm-hmm.
people will be like, oh, I can't manifest, or like
Mm-hmm.
manifestation doesn't work, or it's not
Mm-hmm.
real.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's this misconception, and we've talked about this, that manifestation is something that you can simply turn off. Like you can just
Yes.
opt out.
Yes.
Like, I'm not going to be manifesting. Like, I chose not to do it, and that's it. But I think we know, right, that like you
Yep.
can't opt out. You're either manifesting some shit that you want, or you're manifesting a bunch of shit that you don't want,
Or
and
you're
those are the
manifesting
options.
or you're manifesting the same thing, and that's why it seems like you're not manifesting. That was something that I mentioned too in my video, literally exactly that. It's like we are always manifesting, whether it's what you want, what you don't want, or sometimes it feels like you're not, because you are unconsciously creating the same thing over and over every day, so it feels like there's no change happening.
Hmm.
You look
So is that like when
uh-huh.
you're on a loop? Like that's like when you're on a loop. So that's like living the
Yeah.
same day over and over again because you're not doing anything different.
I would say a loop, or more so a default. I think a lot of us operate at a
Okay.
default state, right? Our experience becomes normalized. And so we are operating at a default. So, like, when you wake up every day, I think 95% of the thoughts that we have on a daily basis are the thoughts that we had the day before. So
Mm-hmm.
literally, we're in this wheel. So you wake up and you have, for me, it's like 30 seconds before everything I was thinking yesterday. Literally, it's like the most pleasant 30 seconds in the world. And then every freaking thing that you were thinking about rushes back, right? And all the things that rush back are the stuff, the 95% of stuff that you were thinking yesterday. And so you end up recreating the same exact day. So you're manifesting, but you're manifesting the same thing. So to me, that is a very unconscious and unintentional type of manifestation, but it is still manifesting. Yeah.
So for the person that's like just getting into manifestation, they've heard
Mhm.
like a lot of the woo woo, whatever they think is magic, unicorns and rainbows and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think is like their first step like manifestation 101. So
Oh,
I think that, yeah, like, cause I don't know. I feel like there is it's definitely levels to this shit, right? Like I don't think you jump in and then you're just like a master manifester. I do feel
yeah,
like there's some fundamental concepts that you have to understand
yeah.
before you can really get intentional. But
Mm-hmm.
then again, that was just my path, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of things like limits and beliefs and how reality is created and the power that we have. Like all of these little things that are kind of like little puzzle pieces
Mm-hmm.
that help us understand how we
Mm-hmm.
can become more what I would call intentional
Mm-hmm.
manifestors. So if
Mm-hmm.
someone told you like, "Hey, I heard about this thing called manifestation, where
Right.
should I start?"
Yeah.
What would you say?
I would take the deep breath that I just took because, but it's because of the
I
way my brain operates, right? I'm a very
okay.
logical person, so for me, having more knowledge helps me to understand. I need to understand why. When I understand why or how, then I feel, I don't know, it just makes sense to me, and so I'm more capable of taking the action. Some people don't need to do that. Some people just are really happy to just do stuff, right? But okay, to answer the question, so if someone came to me and they didn't know anything about it,
I know what I would say.
all right, please. What?
I would I would probably start with this idea of reality creation.
Okay.
Like the idea that, Ma, what's up?
I know, right?
Double tap the screen, Ma. Double tap the screen. Send in some likes. Engage. Do something.
So friends,
Um,
our mother is on right now because our mother is like one of our biggest supporters. To be honest, I absolutely love when I see her like in my videos, and our mother is literally on TikTok. She's everywhere. It's amazing.
that's
Hey, ma.
crazy. Um, yeah. So I think I would start with the premise of reality creation, and I
All
would
right.
start with the premise of you create your own reality. I
Mm-hmm.
think that was the hardest shift that I had to make, and one of the largest concepts that I had to accept, because
Mm-hmm.
if I didn't feel like I could actually impact or change my reality as I saw it, I wouldn't have any I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have the like motivation that I needed to
Okay.
do the things that I had to do. So I
Okay.
think I really had to internalize that I impact my life. I think there was a period of time where I just felt like things were just happening, right? Like I was just existing at the effect of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is like one of the foundational premises that you have to really come to terms with. And I feel like a lot of people don't do that
Mm-hmm.
because it makes you realize, oh shit, this is my responsibility. And you
Yeah.
don't want it to be that, right? Like you want it to be, it's this person's fault. This person lied on me. They did this to me. They did that to me. My parents did this or didn't do this. And I grew up here. And all of these things may be true, but
Right.
you still have a role, a very huge role that you play. So I think that's where I would start personally.
I agree. I'm trying to process what you said, and I think
So the awareness, I guess, awareness of you in relationship to your life, which
yes,
sounds crazy, but yeah.
awareness and also, oh man, Lord have mercy. So awareness and also that level of consciousness that separates you from the person who is doing the things and feeling the things, right? So that awareness. But I think, it's always a little leery jumping into the spiritual religious area, but I think there is a part where it is important, if you are someone who is spiritual or religious and you can connect at this level of really connecting with the idea that we were created in the image and likeness of God the Most High, right? So in essence, that means that we have some creation capability, some power to create. So now taking that and then saying, okay, if I that would now help me to understand more this idea of me being a person who's capable of creating my own reality if I'm starting from that connection with God, source, universe, most high, Jehovah, whoever your most high metaphysics, right?
Mm.
So I'll go there. And then I will also go to the part that helped me to understand, which was the metaphysics, right? Is it right?
Yeah.
You had said the word before, the metaphysics, which
Is it quantum physics?
quantum physics,
Mm-hmm.
which, because for me, I think like a good amount of people, the first introduction to this may have been The Secret. And maybe that's, me telling my age a little bit, because The Secret is not new now, but it's still around, this idea of The Secret, this idea of the law of attraction. So that was kind of, I think, my first entry point into the idea of the fact that I can create my own reality by attracting people, experiences, opportunities to me. And
Mm-hmm.
so then it went from there into this idea of quantum physics, where it's like, well, okay, if I'm attracting, this means I'm a magnet. If I'm a
Mm.
magnet, then there's some level of electricity or
Mm-hmm.
energy, right? And then now we get into this idea of the physics, where now we're going into the fact that, all the technical parts, like we everything is energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything is energy. I'm energy, you're energy, this pillow is energy. And when we say that, going back to the what we learned in high school physics, where the smallest, and don't quote me on this, but the idea is that the smallest part of anything is what? An atom, and
Atomic particle. Yeah.
atomic particle,
Yeah.
right? And we have the proton, neutron, electron. The atomic particle is magnetized, positive, negative. So literally, all of us that makes us up, we have an an electric magnetizing capability.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna leave that there, and you can add, because I feel like I've been saying stuff all up.
No, I think it's interesting, and I like when we do these back and forth. Where I think you have more of a scientific lens, which is cool because I be knowing the stuff, but I don't always know all the different science things. I understand it in theory, but I don't be knowing all the background stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So for someone that's looking to, hey, Sister Slim Bones, hey.
Hi.
So for someone that's hearing about the law of attraction, right? And I feel like everybody's kind of heard about that over probably the past decade. I'm sure someone's heard about it in some type of capacity. So for someone that is like, okay, I understand this idea that I attract things to me, right? Or like attracts like, right? If someone is trying to shift their frequency, what does that really mean? Right? So when I think of shifting frequency, I think of modifying your electromagnetic field, right? And how I think about doing this
Okay.
is through feeling. So
Okay.
if we have like that scale of like joy being at the top, and I think
Yeah.
shame is one of the like lowest vibrating emotions, essentially how you rise up that scale is by shifting your emotion and shifting into that higher frequency, whether it's of joy, gratitude, whatever it is.
Appreciation, love,
Yes.
acceptance. Yeah.
So one of the things I tell people is if you're able to tap into any of those higher vibrating emotions, say for like we hear like, oh, you gotta be grateful or whatever. People say that because when you're vibrating at the frequency of gratitude, you can then begin to attract things that are going to cause you are going to begin to attract things to you that resonate with that feeling.
That's
And
correct.
that'll be more things that are that will be more things that will cause you to feel grateful. So I think a lot of times people don't really understand, especially if you're in a situation that you may hate, like maybe you hate your job, maybe you hate your relationship, maybe you hate, where you live, whatever it is, and they're like, I don't have anything to be grateful for. I don't want to be here. I get that. But when you do find those little things to be grateful for, or those little experiences to be happy about, you can then attract more like-minded experiences to you. And that's the idea of like kind of shifting your electromagnetic field. And then you have the idea that your electromagnetic field extends, is it up to like 16 feet? I don't remember if it's 8 or 16 feet, like from you.
Yeah.
as well. So people can
Yeah.
feel that and like interact with that as well. And that's like a whole other thing. It's like when you're out in the world and you might walk into a room and you're like, it feels off, or something just feels off. That to me is the different electromagnetic fields of the people in the room that you can sense and kind of feel. That's my take on it.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I agree with all of those things. And yes, I think it's either, it may be 6 to 12 feet. Like if you've ever seen, when you said it, I thought of this little visual of the person, then you get that circle around
Yes,
them. You know that
Dr.
visual?
Joe.
Dr. Joe, our good friend, Dr. Joe Dispenza. So yes, and the thing that you want to think about too when we talk about electromagnetic is to remember that it's your heart and your mind that really connect and make that field. And so your mind is the electrical part. So when we talk about neurons and synapses and all of these things that happen in your brain, those are electrical impulses that are happening in your brain. And then your heart is the magnet part. And so the two of them is what make up, in conjunction, make up the strength of the electromagnetic field that then gives off from your body. But okay, let me
But
go.
so I guess going back, the premise
Yeah.
was how can someone shift their frequency? Like I guess like in a more
Yep.
practical way, because they hear the science shit and they're like, okay, I hear you, but what the fuck can I do today that's gonna actually make a difference?
So I think what is always helpful to me, I agree with everything you said, and I would just add that, like we said, everything, if everything is
Hello.
everything, hi,
One of my
if
friends on the
everything
line.
has an has a frequency, everything's always vibrating, everything is energy, right? That literally is everything. So the thing that you desire, the experience of it has an energy around it as well, right? So if you desire to, there's lots of things. You could desire to be a successful entrepreneur. You could desire to be in a loving, kind relationship. You can desire to just be, at peace within yourself. Shifting your frequency to me means understanding how you would feel if you had the thing that you wanted. That is the goal for where you are trying to get your frequency to. So if right now, maybe I hate my job, I'm living paycheck to paycheck, I can't pay my bills. So how do I feel? I'm annoyed, I'm frustrated, I'm depressed, I'm angry, I'm sad, whatever those things are. I desire to have a high paying job that makes me feel abundant, that makes me feel free, where I like my coworkers. Maybe I travel, maybe it's remote, whatever it is. I won't be able to attract that thing to me until I can align with the frequency of that experience. So I have to ask myself, how would I feel if I was in that experience? I would feel grateful. I would feel happy. I would feel light, right? That is your goal. And so, yep,
So
go ahead.
I have a question about that
Yeah.
because I think the people would probably argue that if I never had that thing,
Yeah.
how would I know what having that thing feels like, right? But what I realized with that is you don't have to actually have the thing
Uh-huh.
to possess the feelings that it would give you. So you can tap into something that makes you feel good in general. And I think like Bashar talks about this, right? Like follow your highest alignment or
Excitement.
excitement, right?
Highest excitement.
He talks a lot about that. So how I look at it is if I can just tap into experiences that give me the feeling of joy and excitement daily, it attracts to you anything that
That is
resonates with
comparable.
that
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
Right. So you can still be magnetizing that new job, that new car, that new relationship, or whatever it is to you when you are experiencing those feelings of joy, gratitude, and excitement. So I think that's one of the things where people kind of get a bit thrown off because it's like, if I had a job that was making $200,000 a year, I would be happy, but I don't know what that would feel like now, right? So I have to either go into my imagination and make it up, or try to do something now that will make me happy, and that will also magnetize it to me as well.
Yes, I agree with both of those things. And you use the word, I was going to bring up the other option, which is to use your imagination. But yes, you are right. You don't have to have the experience of exactly what you want to have an idea of how that thing would make you feel. And then you can connect to any other experience in your life that has ever made you feel that way. And it is also going to align and resonate with that. And so you are going to call in any experiences that are similar. The other thing is, yes, using your imagination. And it's so funny. I remember talking to my business coach, and we would have these Q&As, and his company was worth a few $1 million at the time, maybe like 10. And he would come on, and one day I was just like, I want to know how you feel. When you wake up every day with this $10 million business, can you tell me how you feel so that I can know how I'm supposed to feel? Because right now, I do not know what that shit feels like. And, he laughed, but it was the same thing he told me. He was like, he told me how he felt, right? But he was like, you don't have to know exactly how I feel, but you can imagine how you think it would feel. And I think a lot of times, and this is something that I really feel passionately about, I feel like our imagination is kind of beat out of us, as not physically beat, but it's not fostered. It's not encouraged in us as children, as we go through school. Teachers, parents unintentionally, always want to be mentors. Get realistic. Stop daydreaming. Stop imagining. You need to get real. And there's a reason why we have our imagination, and there's a power in that. And that thing is the idea that your brain can't tell a real experience from an imagined one, right? So your brain believes that these things are real if you're able to create that in your imagination. So exactly what you said, either reflect back on something that made you feel how you think you would feel, or you can create it in your mind.
Yeah, I definitely think that, and I have this video on my page where I talk about imagination and how it's the previews of life's coming attractions, and I really feel that, because I feel like if you can imagine something and your mind can conceive it, it's for a reason. Like, you don't think about, people think like, oh, it's just random. Like, I just had this random, great idea or whatever. And it's not random. Like, I really believe that ideas are alive. Like, they come to you to come through you. And I also believe if you have an idea and you don't act on it, it will go to someone else. I was just telling someone, it's like, yeah, like if it comes to you, like, hey, there's this great idea. Like, I cannot count how many times I've been scrolling on my timeline and I'm like, yo, I thought about that. Like, I thought about, like, look at them. They doing the exact thing that I thought about. And I believe that that's how it works. If you have a really good idea and you don't act on it, it goes to someone else for them to execute. And I also heard, I think I was watching a video today where a guy said that God answers your prayers through ideas, right? And people will be like, I wish I had some money. I wish I had this. I wish I had that. And the idea will come and you're like, swat away the idea. And the whole time that idea that came to you,
that was the answer.
That was the ticket. That was the answer, right? It didn't come to you in like a whole pre-packaged type of situation. Like, here it is. It came maybe, a bit disassembled, but it was on you to kind of, put it together and bring it forth. And we don't really give that enough credit.
I agree. And I'm going to take a moment here to say that, adding on to that, anyone who's watching, when you get those ideas, write them down. I happen to get a lot of my ideas in the shower for whatever reason. So I keep my phone handy, because you will forget. You will forget as quick as it comes in. If you don't hold on to it, you will forget. So write the ideas down, even if you have no intention of acting on it, even if you don't know how it's going to happen, write it down, right? And the other thing I'll add to it too is that you can do certain things to put yourself in a more receptive state to receive and to hear, right, these ideas. And that part goes to just kind of quieting yourself, right? And now, this leads into meditation and other practices where you're just quieting the noise, quieting the thoughts, where you're opening up pretty much a channel, right? You're opening up a channel to being receptive to these things. And then, you will have more ideas drop in at that time too. But yes, all of that to say, yes.
And if there's anyone on the live with any questions or anything that comes to your head, please drop them in the comments. If this live is resonating with you, please double tap. Please share with a friend. We want to boost as much engagement as we can so we can get as much people in here as possible. Thank y'all so much.
Yes, thank you.
Um,
And I'm doing a specific ask to please follow me. I'm building up my community. I haven't been in the TikTok space in a while. I've been in other spaces, but I'm here, and I would love it if you all like this and you would
yes, thank
follow.
you for the repost, Sister Slim Rose.
Love it.
Appreciate you.
Love it.
But yeah, so I think we really need to tap back into our imagination a lot. And one thing you mentioned, like there are like specific thresholds with me, like in the shower. I cannot tell you how many times I've jumped out the shower because I'm like, I got this idea. I gotta write it down. If I don't, I've pulled over my car.
Yep.
Like I
Same.
woke up out of my sleep
Same.
because I
Same.
know it's passing in your brain like a ship in the night. And if
Yes.
it passes you, all you'll be like is, damn, what was that? Damn, I don't want to deal with that. I
And
will
you know
write
what's
it in the
funny?
note.
I wonder if a part of the reason why you can't recollect it is because you have shifted out of that frequency. You know what I mean? Like the ideas at a certain frequency, you're at a certain frequency, it connects. And then when you lose that momentum and you start thinking about a bill or something, you got to call somebody back. Now you shifted your frequency and you literally can't connect to it anymore. Oh, that's what it made me think too, is I hear this analogy a lot of this idea of the radio station. And so I think that's a good idea too when you want to consider this idea of frequency, because we're familiar with radio stations, right? We're familiar how there's lots of different stations playing lots of different music, but the only one that we can hear is the one that we tap into. So, right, we're in New York. So Hot 97, right? 97.1. If I want to hear Ebro in the morning, right, I got to tap in to 97.1. But whoever's playing on 105, they're still playing,
Right.
but I have to turn to 105 in order to hear it. And so that's a good way to begin to consider that there are so many different possibilities that are available to you, and they are all existing at different frequencies. But the only ones that you are going to have access to are the ones where you are tapped in at the frequency of that possibility, right? So I like that because I think that it makes it very clear when we're talking about connecting with things at a certain frequency.
I wonder if the shower is like a portal. I
I
feel like
would
it's
say
like a
so.
portal.
I would say so.
Yeah,
I think
I feel like it's a portal.
water is very cleansing. And that could be, yes, you're cleansing your physical body, but I think most people will say, I mean, if I could take 3, 4 showers a day, I would. I enjoy being in the shower, right? But I think people will say you feel a little relaxed in the shower, you decompress in the shower, right? So I think you are releasing some levels of negative energy as well. And while you're doing that, your vibration, right? Your frequency, they're rising. And this is why you are more available or, right, receptive to certain ideas. That makes sense to me. And even sleeping. And even sleeping. One of the things I love, I think you know about me, I think a nap is wonderful. When you are in a bad space and you are able, take a nap. For me, a nap hits the reset button. It brings me back to neutral, right? And I think that's a real
Yes.
thing. So it will raise your vibration and make certain things accessible to you then as well.
Yes, it definitely neutralizes it.
Yes.
So we can't talk about this idea of manifestation and not talk about resistance.
Okay.
The enemy,
I
the monkey
know.
on your back.
Oh my God, that shit makes me so mad every time I think about it, especially knowing, like, and you and I have these conversations, knowing everything that we know, still
Yes.
struggling with resistance. Yeah.
Yes, because I feel like we get into that mode where we're like, okay, anything is possible. I can do it. All I have to do is shift my frequency and just tap in and do my meditations and write my stuff down. And then
Mm-hmm.
you begin to take these steps
Mm-hmm.
and you feel the tug, you
Mm-hmm.
feel the dissonance, you feel the discomfort between the version of you before and the version of you after.
Yeah.
I guess they would say the ego and like the higher self, like you feel
Mm-hmm.
this tug, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's also where a lot of people get really fucked up at, because you know these things and you want to believe them, but then you also have almost equal and competing opposite beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
right? So for the people that are in that space, and I still struggle with this as well. Like, I don't know if you get to a place unless you reach like that Christ-like consciousness.
Right.
I don't know if you get to a place where you're free of that. I feel like it's just a part of the process, and you kind of have to have certain things in place for when things come up. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking about that. And uh, you know how we talk about like this idea of the spiral. Things may seem the same, but you're not necessarily going in a circle. You're
Yes,
actually
you did tell me about this.
with
Yes, I like that
experiences.
concept.
So
Mm-hmm.
there's okay, how can I say this? I think it's not about yes, it's not always about being positive. It's not about never having any resistance or limiting beliefs, but I think it is about having having your frequency be higher more often than not. So what that means is getting through the resistance faster. It's not that you're not going to have the limiting beliefs. I think there's a part of it where it's about being aware. Oh, in this moment, I'm telling myself that I can't do this. Right. And then having the awareness, catching it, and then saying, okay, no, that's not true. Is it asking yourself, is this belief true all the time? Does it have to be true in all instances, right? Really break this belief down. Oh, one of the other things is this my belief? This limiting thing that I feel, where did this come from? Did a teacher tell me this in elementary school? Did my parents tell me this? Is this mine? Asking yourself, does this belief serve me? Right? All of these questions you want to ask, because it's not that we're not going to have the limiting beliefs, but we need to have the tools to de not depower. What's the word? To take the power away from it, whatever that word is. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we need to have that power, and you can do that by asking yourself certain levels of questions. So there's that when we're talking about resistance as a belief. But then I also think resistance comes in terms of challenging feelings, right? Some days you wake up and you just feel like shit. Some days you may have meditated, you read the book, I'm listening to Oprah on YouTube, you doing all the things and you just don't feel like it, right? That's okay too. But acknowledging that you feel that way, having some tools in your toolkit for things that can make you feel better, right? Doing what you need to do to make yourself feel better so you don't live in that space. That's kind of, I think, how you really navigate the ups and downs of it.
Yeah, I definitely feel like you have to have multiple tactics or strategies in place. So I feel like at a minimum, you need like one strategy for your physiological being,
I like that.
because when you start to take these new actions and these new steps, you are going to feel triggered. And I tell people in my lives all the time, like, you have to look at that previous version of yourself that was unaware of manifestation as an entity with its own individual timeline, right? I say entity because I want you to know that this shit is strong.
Yeah.
It's not something that you're making up. It's literally an entity. So this entity, once you begin to operate and dive off into, I'll call it a parallel timeline or a different state of being, this entity is going to begin to weaken. So it's going to try to do things to draw you out and to bring you back, because your mind just wants to keep you safe. It doesn't like change. So it's like, oh, we're changing. What's going on? We don't normally do this. We don't meditate. We don't do any of that. It's going to try to pull you back. So there needs to be something in place that is going to calm your physiological being. And I feel like that's where I get into nervous system regulation, right? Because, and I was the person that I never got into any of that. It didn't make sense to me. I'm like, this shit doesn't work. What are y'all talking about? Why does everybody keep saying this? But if you're not able to calm your body, and your mind is kind of going to follow, like, you're going to have to be able to keep that at bay in some way, shape, or form. So whether that's your breathing, whether that's your meditating, whether that's relaxing, whatever it is, hand on the heart, in and out, you need to have one strategy for that. And you also need to have one strategy for your mindset, because your mind is going to try to trick you and tell you like, oh, that shit is not real. you can't change all of those things, right? Mentally. So you might want to do something else, but then these thoughts start racing and it gets very sticky. So
Yeah.
for that, I recommend and I personally love scripting. I feel like that's my practice. That's like super grounding. And that's when I just begin to write out my reality, the way I see things in present tense. So if it's about some money, I'll write it out. I am so thankful I have $10,000 this month. If it's about a relationship, oh, I just woke up next to the love of my life, even though there's no one in sight, right? Like I just write everything out as I see it in my mind. And then that grounds me back in my vision. But there are other things like visualization, like all of those things, but you do need to have some sort of practice. If you
I
try to
agree.
just go into this shit unarmed, you're going to be very like knocked off your shit when shit hits the fan because it will get real.
And then you'll sometimes beat yourself up, especially if you're someone who knows some of these things, like the space that, to be honest, I sit in. And I don't beat myself up a lot, but when you've read the amount of books, right, that we've read and you've listened to the stuff, like we get it. And so to feel like to have that knowledge here, but not be able to have more control over how you feel, sometimes it feels like it can feel defeating. And it's funny because one of the other tools that I will add to this is something that I had to really utilize deeply this past weekend on Friday. And it was a coach of mine who suggested it to me, was actually really diving deep into prayer, to be honest. Like I know, for some people, people start with prayer, right? Some people start there depending on how you operate in the world. And some people, prayer is a last resort. Like some people, prayer is a last resort when you like, Jesus, take the wheel. I can't do this no more. I'm laying down my burdens. Please take this off my back. Right. So one of the other things, if you get relief from nothing else and that aligns with you, that can be definitely be a way to find some peace, which is really just accepting that there are some things that are happening that you can't control right now, and they may be happening for reasons that you don't understand right now, but you trust that your path is assured, and you just need to hold on to get through this low moment, and you just like Jesus, God, Jehovah, whoever, right? Source, take the wheel, take this from me. So I would also add as one of the tools in there prayer. And that's just the spiritual side of it. And then also, like you said, I think you mentioned movement, but yoga, going to the gym, working out, any of those things will help for your physical body. And there was one more thing I wanted to add. Ever since it's just one of the things I think is so cool when we talk about nervous system regulation is that there are more ner- uh, more nerves going from your body to your brain than your brain to your body. So what that
Oh
means
wow.
is, yeah. So if you look at it as a 10-lane highway, 80% of the communication is actually going from your body to your brain, not your brain to your body. So what that means is that your instincts, you're gonna feel things. You're gonna have emotions first. And then your mind is going to create a story to rationalize those emotions and to tell you what this emotion means. Your brain is going to begin to create a story. But the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to feel some kind of way. You're going to have an emotion. So I say that to say, if we go with what we're saying and we have tools to regulate our body, we don't have to have all of the psychological tools necessary to talk yourself out of it in your brain. You can actually calm down your mind by doing things physiologically. So like you said, whether that is, working out or yoga or breathing. Breathing is a big one. Breathing is this one of the simplest ways that you can calm down and regulate your nervous system, lower your stress levels, lower your cortisol levels, right? And that will in turn allow you to get into the out of the emotional space and into more rational, logical areas. So I just will always think that that's a cool thing that I learned. That it's like, oh my God, our bodies talk to our minds more than our minds talk to our bodies. Get out of here. But yeah,
That
that's a
makes so
fact.
much sense. That makes so much sense. And one thing that I like to say in my lives as well is when it comes to like faith and belief, like that's really the sauce. And I
Yeah.
feel like the hardest part of it is that we're conditioned to trust what we can see
Mm-hmm.
more than what we feel and what we know. So
Mm-hmm.
when you begin this endeavor, you're literally going to notice that you're going contrary to everything you've been taught to believe. And I feel like that's one of the hardest things. And I also say, you don't need faith for the things that you can see,
That's
right? You
exactly
need
what
faith
it
for the
is.
shit that you can't see, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you don't know what's going to happen. That's when you need the faith. When the shit is right here in front of you, you could touch it. You don't need faith for that.
Yeah.
You need faith when you're on a journey trying to accomplish a goal and you don't know how the fuck you're going to do it. Or you
Mm-hmm.
have some bills due and you don't know how the fuck you're going to pay for them.
Yeah.
This is when the faith really comes in
Yeah.
because there's no evidence in your reality, right? If you're going somewhere that you've never traveled before, if
Mm-hmm.
you're taking a road you've never been down before, you're not going to know every single step to get there. You might only see that first step and say, hey, I only know that I can do this thing right now. I don't know what the hell is going to happen next. But that is not how we're conditioned to move in society. You're conditioned to do this, and then you do this, and then you do this, and then you get this result. So when you begin to walk this path of elevating your consciousness, being an intentional creator,
Mm-hmm.
creating something out of nothing, this requires a different level of belief, and the shit is going to test you.
I agree. And I think that that's when you really tap into this idea that your vision, it's yours. It's meant for you. The only reason you want the thing that you want is because you are actually capable of having it. And some would say you already may have it in a parallel reality, right? There's a version of you that already has this thing. I know we can't jump there. Next time we'll go there. But there's a version of you in a different parallel reality that already has this thing. So all you really need to do is begin to move in the direction of the thing and that's that idea. It's already yours. But it's hard. Like you said, we're conditioned deeply in this 3D reality to only trust and believe what we can see. But like you said, you don't need faith for the things you can see. You need it for the things that you can't. And let me tell you, that faith, that thing where you just take one step and then something will unfold and another step. One of the things I say is the only way you can fail is if you stop trying. And I tell myself that a lot building my business is the only way I can fail is if I stop trying to build this business, if I give up. But as long as I keep taking a step, I am creating the potential for something else to happen that can help me to keep moving forward. Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, absolutely. It's definitely not an easy journey. And I would dare say I don't know if everyone is called for the journey. I really don't know because it requires some faculties that if your shit ain't, if you ain't all the way right, you're not gonna be able to make it. Like you're not.
Yeah.
You're just not. It requires a different level of belief. Not only belief and having faith in something external, but having faith in yourself. And that's the crazy thing. That's another part of you'll realize on this journey that most of this is deprogramming yourself. It's deprogramming yourself, ridding yourself of these false beliefs. False beliefs could be beliefs, things that you believe to be true about yourself. I'm not capable. I don't do things like that. I'm not disciplined. I'm too old to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I could never be as attractive as this person. All of this shit is this shit that you have told yourself. So there's a lot of deprogramming and deconditioning that you have to do. So when you're on this journey, it's really about improving yourself and becoming that highest version of yourself because you're going to realize what got you here won't get you there, right? That person you need to become to get those things that you want, you have to almost be forged into that person, right? Like
It's
you
so
don't have
funny.
said thing because you haven't became said person yet.
Exactly. And the thing I'll add to that is looking at challenges as showing you where you need to grow, right? Not looking at it as though if not looking at it as a failure, right? Looking at any challenge or anything that, didn't work out the way you wanted as a learning opportunity and really asking yourself like, okay, who would I need to be to have had a different outcome in this situation? right? That's what you need to be asking yourself. So yeah, pretty much. Exactly that. Like yeah, you're not, and I agree. I don't think it's for everybody, but that's okay, right? There
Right.
are people who are visionaries. There are people who are strategy people. There are people who are very happy to support someone's vision if they believe in it, if it is aligned. And I think that people should sit in the space that feels comfortable for them, right? You don't need to do all the things if that's not your happy place, but you do need to be honest about your happy place. And if you know that you're playing small when everything in your vision is like, it's time for me to shine and I got so much in me to play big, that's when you got to start doing differently. And I'll be honest, there's definitely parts of myself when I'm doing this stuff and it's like, I don't know why I feel like I want to create this thing. I don't know why I feel like I want to have this multi-million-dollar business. This shit sounds ridiculous. But the fact that that is some shit that really resonates with me, it's like, no, I'm not called to play small. Now I may not know all the things I'm supposed to do to get there, but I can't continue to act like that's not a real way that I feel deep inside. And everybody don't feel that way.
Yeah, that's
Right?
what I realized that. And speaking of everybody don't feel that way, another big thing that you will find out when you're on this journey is that everybody can't go, and that shit will be painful as fuck. Everybody can't go. It's just the name of the game. Everybody can't go. If you have $1 million vision and you hang around people that have penny visions, dollar visions, $10,000 visions, y'all are not in alignment. They're gonna make you feel like the shit that you want to do, you can't do it. It's unreasonable. You're crazy. God forbid you want to be rich. You're greedy. Everything, right? So as you're elevating, you are going to notice that a lot of things that are, I would say, not of you, not in alignment with you, are going to begin to fall away. You'll notice shit. You might embark on a journey. You fuck around and lose your job. You might embark on a journey. You mess around and lose family, friendships. Things just start to get stripped from you, and you start to feel like, oh my god, like what is happening? Like I'm trying to attain this thing, but I feel like I'm losing everything. How is this happening? But everything that is not resonating with your vision is going to have to be stripped away, and I feel like that's probably one of the most painful parts of the journey, because you have the vision and you're like, don't you see? I want to do this big thing. It will be so great. Come on, guys, let's go. And it's like, oh shit, they don't want to go. They don't want to go. This is so sad.
Aw, hey Chanel.
Oh, thank you, Chanel. This is my first gift. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Thank you.
I love it. So I'm just going to add to that. I agree. And what people need to understand is we talked about this identity shift. The version of you now, you can't, it's very likely that you can't take that version. That's not the version of you that's capable of achieving your vision, right? And so the things you attracted into your life, right? Your family, family's family, but like friends, relationships, you attracted them from this, your current identity, your current level frequency. Y'all are vibrating in a similar place. When you start moving forward to that vision and you start raising your consciousness, now that's where people start dropping off, because you are now a new version of yourself. So that is sad. It is sad. It's scary. It's lonely. But I think the best thing to do is begin to open yourself up to attracting things that are in alignment with you, people, groups, right? That are going to be networks, that are going to be supportive of you, right? That's where you need to be, because listen, you already know that saying. It's like, I'm sure it's in, oh my God, what's the book? You become the five people. You're the sum of the five people that you're around.
Oh yeah.
Right? So that really makes a difference. So if the people in your circle are not trying to move with you, I love you, right? Thank you for supporting me, but I got to take some steps in this direction, and you got to go. Yeah, it's sad.
Man, I tell people the money gonna change me, man. The money gonna change me.
Oh God,
the money is going to change me. I fear the money is going to change me, and I don't feel bad. People be like, "Oh, you got money and change." Yeah, the money gonna change me. I'm dead ass. Like, I don't feel no ways about that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I'm a type of person that I want to see everyone win. Like, if you come to me with an idea, I'm looking at you, I'm like, yo, we could make this happen. All you gotta do is this, and that. I'm going to support you. Like, I want that shit just as bad as you want that shit. So if I'm on the way up and you on the way down, or you're not fucking with my shit, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad because I know that I will give you all the resources. I'm not gatekeeping nothing. I will give you everything that I have in me that I feel would help you elevate your life. So if you're not taking none of that, when I get up, I can't feel bad because you could have been here. You ain't want to do that. So the money gonna change me. Just remember I said that.
Listen, I believe that right there. What I will say is that the money is going to magnify more of who you are. More of who you are. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that there because I mean I would like to think that the money ain't gonna change me, but the money probably would change me too.
The money is going to change you, bro.
But
I already got this shit in me. So I'm not even gonna say like in a bad way, right?
Not in a
like
bad way.
I don't feel like I'm necessarily gonna want to flex on nobody, right? But I'm gonna do all the rich, extravagant, lavish ass shit. But I already do that now on a micro scale. So if I could up my shit in times 10, we doing that. I want it all. I want everything that I could possibly get in this lifetime. I want all the 3D experiences. I want all of that. Give me it all.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. We got one time in this iteration right here, right now, and it is there for us to have. And to be honest, the only reason that most of us don't have it is because we won't allow it into us. It's not because we can't have it. It's because of our beliefs, we're not worthy enough to have it, all of this scarcity, all of this lack, all of these different things. Those are the reasons why we can't have it. So I support you wanting to have all of it. And I'm going to be right there. So don't worry. I ain't going to have to look up nothing.
Of it. Don't you worry.
Listen, I ain't going to have to look up nothing because you're going to set it up so that I have a wonderful 5-star experience everywhere I go. And I love that for me.
You already know. I got you. But I will say one of the things, right? And like, it's interesting because there was a video earlier, a creator, she put it out, and she was pretty much just talking about like how she loves her Bentley something. I can't recall, like some kind of Bentley car or whatever. And like people were saying like that it was kind of crazy that she was talking about like how she loves her Bentley car or whatever it was. Right. And to me, she was talking about the car. I got so excited because I was like, oh shit, like I wasn't even considering this Bentley B, whatever the fuck it's called, as an option. I'm like, thank God that you even put me on. So now I can add this shit to my vision board list. You know, so when I see people with things that are extravagant or luxurious or whatever it is, I get excited because I'm like, oh shit, if she got that, I could have that too. Like I always say, they don't got two heads. They just like me, right? So I don't get jealous when I see somebody with some, they on a yacht or they're in Amalfi Coast or they got a big luxury. I love and welcome all of that shit because that just means, God, I see what you did for them. I'm next. Thank you. Thank you. Like, I don't get like, oh my God, why is she talking about her Bentley? That's so whatever. I don't feel like that. I get happy as hell. Thank you for putting me on, sis.
This reminds me of the conversation that we had about exposure and how important, right? And how important it is when we are creating the image of the thing that we want, especially if you're someone, there's lots of people who live in a place and they've never traveled anywhere, right? There's lots of people. I think about that and it makes me a little bit sad. Not saying I'm the biggest world traveler, but I have traveled, but there are people who have never traveled. And so if you don't have exposure, how do you even begin to know what the experience is like that you want? So I definitely don't think it should be something where, and whatever, I can't tell people how to feel. But like this idea of hating on somebody because they have something, you should be grateful that this person has presented you with this experience. There's this show that's been on Amazon Prime about that green-eyed guy from Grey's Anatomy. I can't remember what his name is right now, but he light skin. He's on there, and it's some show about the Amalfi Coast. And when I see that show, and I'm like, oh my God, it is beautiful. I want to know where that is. I looked it up. I put it on my list of places to travel. I will be going there next year because I saw it on TV, right? And the same thing. So somebody was talking about Mercedes, and that reminds me of when I had my first experience in a Mercedes. At that time, my car was like 12 years old, and I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even know what it was like. I remember I got in the Mercedes, and you know how like you got to slide the little button up for the seat. You got to slide the button on the door for the seat to go up. I went in and I was looking around, and I didn't even know what to do. But let me tell you something. I learned from that exposure, and I was like, the next car I get, I want me a Mercedes, and so all the things.
Someone said just like when you went to Mercedes to manifest your dream car, you opened our eyes too. Oh, thank you. But yes, it was just like that, and I'll tell y'all that story. Like when I was going into that Mercedes Benz dealership, my car had 200,000 miles on it. Betty was 20 years old, but in my head, I knew that I had to have that Mercedes, right? So I didn't give a fuck that my car was 20 years old. I didn't give a fuck that it had 200,000 miles on it. I'm like, I'm going to have this Mercedes. So I went into that Benz dealership, had conversations with those sales associates, got in the car, looked around, seen the features, nice sunroof, all of the shit. I got real comfortable because I knew that I was going to be back there. So one of my big like manifestation tips is exposure. You have to begin to immerse yourself in the environments that you want to be in, whether it's walking into that Louis Vuitton store or whatever it is, and just get in there and feel comfortable, because your time is coming too. If you're too like afraid to even go in because you feel like I don't have the money, so fucking what? They can't make you buy nothing. Them sales associates have to help you.
Yes, and you have to be very nice.
They do. They do. That is literally their job. So I will go into any dealership. That Bentley one, I will be there next. I have no problem doing that, because the more you immerse yourself in those environments, the more comfortable you get, right? And it's just like, we're here to experience all these luxury things. That shit is not something that's for certain people or only they get to do that. It is for everybody. You really have to believe that it's for you too. Mm-hmm.
That exposure normalizes the experience. So now when we talk about tapping into the identity of the person who has what you want, if you had the Mercedes, it would feel normal to you, right? So how is it going to feel normal to you if you don't ever put yourself in a position where you have that level of exposure? So it's the same thing. I could tell a similar story about my Mercedes and Hutch, my baby Hutch, RIP. Hutch was about 15 years old. And I remember when the battery kept dying and my mother was like, you just need to get you an XYZ car. And I was like, nah, Mom, I can't even do it. I'm going to be honest, I knew that was not the wisest thing for me to do in terms of where I was in the business. And to be honest, based on my credit score at that time as well, there was no reason that people should have even gave me the car. I can't even. I'm going to tell y'all the God's honest truth. I went there to the Mercedes dealership and I was like, Jesus, if the car is meant to be mine, I'm going to fill out the application. I don't know why they're going to say yes. When I tell you, the people was like, yes, you can have it, and you didn't even get the highest APR. I said, what? I was in shock. I said, oh shit, this car is for me. Yes, Lord. And I had no business getting it. But I'll be honest, you were a part of the exposure, right? Like there were things that had happened that made me be like, no, I can have this. If other people can have this, it's for me too. So yes, exposure is a big deal.
Just to give some context, right? Yes. Like, we didn't grow up in no luxury cars, right? Like, we always had a car because we're Jamaican. So we always had a minivan. Damn minivan.
Station wagon. A station. Actually, before you were born, we had a station wagon.
Oh, my God.
The very first car I knew of, we had a station wagon, y'all. A Chrysler, an Oldsmobile, something. Anyway. Yes.
My mom loved a minivan. I don't know what it is about Jamaicans and minivans, but that was just the thing. And I remember, like, in high school, having that little green minivan before I actually got my first car. And just feeling like it was always the Scooby-Doo van. I hated it. I hated it so bad. And I'm like, nah, when I get older, I'm going to have me something nice or whatever. And it takes time to get there. But it's just saying, like, you don't have to be born in an environment where all of this shit is there for you. Like, no, like, you can create your own shit. you don't have to always like be born into that. That's
And let me
not,
be honest,
not
it's
how it always
easier.
goes.
It may seem easier if you are because it's more normal. So to be honest, for people who are not born, we actually have to take more steps to normalize, to get the exposure, to remind ourselves that these things are here for us too. And
Right.
it's not just for certain people, like you said, it's for everybody. And this is in the scope of talking about ways to help manifest, right? It's all of those
Hey,
things. So
Ash.
yes, hello. I love this. I love it.
Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Can y'all double tap the live, please? I love y'all so much.
Yes, yes, and please follow me because I'm working on building up my followers here. So yes,
All
yes, yes,
right.
and I'm doing a 30-day content creation challenge. So please, anyone who is trying to create more content, I'm on day
Hey,
4.
Kia.
I can definitely do accountability with y'all. If you want to be more social, we're doing messy stuff. Messy, me and my sister, we just hopped on here. We're doing things. So if y'all want that, please join the challenge.
All
Okay.
right.
I love
Uh-oh.
it.
What
All
the
these
hell?
people getting
Is our
badges.
live gonna... I know we got so many people in here. Oh my God. I
I
hope the
love
live
that.
don't end in 5 minutes, y'all. It might. I don't know. I just seen something pop up. I don't think I've ever been on live this long before. So if the
Well,
shit
that's
gets
because we haven't been here chatting. Because you know, one thing me and you gonna do is we gonna chat. So now we have people to come and join our chat because
we
this
do.
is
Hi,
how we
Brandon.
chat on a regular basis. And
We
Anastasia
do.
has been being like, "Girl, we need to do this. We need to get a podcast. We need to bring the people into these conversations because we don't just be talking about bullshit. We be talking
We
about
do.
real shit that can actually help people." And I'm like, "Yeah, you right. You right, Z. I'm so
Hi,
happy that
Z.
you love this. Oh yes, yes. Hey,
Yes.
friend."
Yeah, so this is just really how we normally talk about stuff. And it's so crazy. Like, we will be on the phone for like 2-3 hours
It's ridiculous. It's
talking about
disgusting.
quantum physics, talking about manifestation, talking about creating your dream life. And I just really feel like, especially in these times, like, I really feel like more of these conversations just need to be had. Like, people need to have some sort of inspiration, something to look forward to, something to work towards. Because I feel like everything just feels so dark, so heavy, so
Especially
negative
now.
now.
Especially now. You can't you gotta be Delulu. You at
You
this
gotta,
the way the world is operating now, you have to create your own vision, your peace, your happiness, your joy. You got to create that in your head and live there because
yeah.
if you succumb to everything that's happening, especially on the news, your frequency is going to be low, friends. And we already know what the low frequency is attracting. It's not attracting the shit that you want.
It's
That's for
not.
sure.
And I
So
hate to say that. And also, I will say,
I
like,
love
when
that
you
shit though.
drop,
Hmm.
delusion is all I got left.
Hold on to that
Yeah.
shit for your dear life. Hold on to it. It's going to get you everywhere you need to go. All
No,
right?
dead ass. It is. And like, because things are so dark and so heavy right now, like if you drop and like succumb to that, it takes so much to pull yourself back up. Like
Yeah.
I've been in situations where I felt dark, I felt down, I felt depressed, I felt all of these things, and I'm like, yo, like you have to go through so much to elevate yourself to be able to see the sunshine again. And it's been people's content, people's books, people's YouTube videos, things that I have tapped into to kind of pull some of their energy so I can use some of that to kind of pull myself back up. So that's why I feel it's so important to just be having these
Having these
conversations, just talking
conversations.
about these things.
And I'm gonna tell you, I feel like people need to be more intentional about it too, right? Like one of the things I do on a daily basis is I'm on YouTube listening to motivational things.
Oh
I'm on
yeah.
YouTube listening to things that are really helping me feel better, helping me to learn more, and not just listening to more of the same shit that's not making me feel good. This has to be an intentional effort to keep your frequency where it needs to be. Because like I said, you're not always going to be high vibe, but you just want to be there more than not. And so a
Yeah.
lot of that is being intentional about it because there's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of things going on in the world now that it could keep you down. And I almost feel like a part of that is very intentional to keep us
Yes.
down, right?
Yes. I feel like there are definitely some agendas. Matter of fact, I don't even want to talk about this shit for
We're not
they
going to talk
fucking
about
respect
this.
my
We not,
life.
no,
We're
no,
not even gonna get into that
we're
before my
going to
whole
do it.
shit gets cut off. But I'm just gonna I'm just gonna say that yeah, like I am very intentional about what I consume, and I'm very mindful about curating a world that works for me.
Agreed.
And it can be very hard because you have so much things fighting for your attention, right? Because attention is currency right now. So you really have to be mindful of the shit that you're consuming on a consistent basis and really try to curate it and tailor it for the world that you want to live in and the world that you want to exist in.
Agreed.
Because it's very hard. And I know when I say that, people are like, huh? Like, what do you mean? But I'm like, there has to be a level of intentionality behind it because the shit will consume you and it will drag you under. I'm dead ass.
And it's created that way. There are people whose sole job it is to find a way to keep you tied into the matrix of all of these things that are on social media, right? So all of that to say, if you have a question about the energy of what's going on, just be objective about the stuff on your feed. What's popping up on your feed? The things that are coming up consistently is what you told the algorithm that you are interested in. So if it's not supportive, if it's not motivational, if it don't make you feel good, if you're not learning, and those are things that you would like for yourself, because maybe that's not what you want, and that's cool. But if you want more of that and that's not what you're seeing, then you know you got to make some shifts, and you have to be intentional about seeking out creators who are curating content to raise your frequency, to help you to feel better, to be motivated, to be supportive, right? All of that stuff.
Hey, Dana.
Hi.
And yeah, and it's not, I'm not gonna, put it to y'all like, oh, every day is gonna be good, every day is gonna be 100%, like, you just gonna walk out feeling like unicorns and rainbows, because now, like we were talking about earlier, like, shit gets real. Every day is not a good day, right?
Every day is a new day.
Every day is a new day. It might not be a good day. It might just be a new day, right? So it's like, I don't want y'all to get the perception like, oh, like we just walk around like unicorns and rainbows. Nah, like it definitely be some days I'll send over a voice note and I'm like, I don't feel good today. Like I feel like shit. I'm not really feeling it. I don't want to create content. I don't want to work. I don't want to write. I don't want to do none of that shit. Like I definitely have days like that. But I know that that's not every day. Right. And even in those moments, I still try to look for those little things to lift me up. So whether it is for me, like going to the gym, putting up YouTube, putting up some kind of motivational video, I do that because all of that just pours into me when I am feeling depleted. And when I frankly don't have it for myself. Some days I just don't have shit to give, right? So I know when those moments are, and I also have, like we spoke about, practices and rituals and certain shit that I tap into when I know that I'm feeling that way.
Yep. You have to curate a toolbox. That's the way I call it, like a toolbox. Taryn, listen, I feel you. This is where I was today. Somebody, one of the things I do now when people ask me how I feel, I try not to lie. Because a lot of times people will ask you how you feel and you'll just say, oh, I'm great. Oh, I'm good. I'm not saying you got to tell everybody all your business, but take a moment and actually tap in and be like, how do I feel? So like today when I had some coaching calls today and people would ask me and I'll be like, I'm here. How do I feel? I'm here. I am where I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be there. That's what I have for you today. And sometimes all you could do is show up. Show up, be where you're supposed to be, do the best you can do. Now, what I will say is the flip side of that though, right? And we talk about this too. In the same way you know that you're having a bad day, you know when you're having a good day. And so when you are, Z, you stupid. When you know that you're having a good day, you got to tap in. Double down on trying to get shit done. Try and be productive. Do as much as you can do on the moments when you are feeling good, right? Because it has to be that balance. But this is the thing. There is always something, even on the day that you are feeling, and I know y'all may have heard this before, but even on the day when you are feeling your most shitty, you opened your eyes, you took a breath, and you woke up. And there are lots of people that did not do that. So if there's nothing else, you here. You alive. That's what I got.
That's what kids say. I'm alive.
Listen, breathing, girl, breathing. Somebody, people will be like, you got to take things one day at a time. Sometimes I'd be like 1 minute. Matter of fact, I think Anastasia, I left you a voice note today. I was like, listen, today may be you take things 1 minute at a time. You take things 1 hour at a time. It's that kind of day. And that's all right. And that's all right. and you get through. And again, and this is from, you know, all we know, like we're tapped into all of this motivation. We're reading all these books, we're learning all this stuff. We're trying to change our frequency, create our vision, our wonderful lives. And we still have these types of days.
Yeah, not for real. Like when you going through some real shit, like some real shit, that 1 minute at a time shit is real.
1 minute
Like
at a
that
time.
1 minute at a time shit is real. Like
Listen, I spent almost 3 years. I spent years at 1 minute at a time at a certain point in my life. Thank God I am no longer there. I'm no longer there, but sometimes you just gotta get through. But you will get through. You will get through. Yes.
yeah, for sure. You know, so everything is really is really a process, and there's no magic to this shit. There's
Nope.
no magic. Like this should be grit, hard work, breathing, because sometimes we be sleeping on breathing. And I was definitely one of those people like breathing don't make a difference. That shit makes a big difference, a big difference. And Ouriana, you know all this. And
I
for you
do.
that don't know, this is my sister Ouriana. Like a
Yes.
lot of my friends is in the chat. I don't know if you guys have ever met her. But
Yes, this is my sister. And I'm excited to be. I'm excited to be here in this space with you. We have been. This is actually a whole ass manifestation because we've been trying to get together in this space, talking about this stuff for like years now. So it's actually funny that we're both here now doing this. But you know, when you talk about breathing, I get excited because
I know, and you know the
Hi,
stuff
Dana.
behind it.
So you know I get excited because I am a nerd and I love to share information. So I'm just gonna tell y'all. Oh, you so stupid. Yes, Z. I had you, girl. Listen. So no, but I'm gonna tell you something because I'm a whole. All right, I can't. We don't even have time to go as deep as I want to go. The next time we get on live, we're gonna go all the way into nervous system regulation and breathing and why it works. But simply put, when you take deep breaths and particular kind of breaths, so diaphragmatic breathing or belly breathing. So breathing when your belly expands before your chest. There's chest breathing where you're just doing this light breathing, and then there's deep belly breathing. When you do that, you massage something called your vagus nerve. And if you please Google it, your vagus nerve, VAGUS. There's so much literature out there about it. When you massage your vagus nerve, that activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest. And that is the state that we want to stay in. Most times we operate from a state of nervous system dysregulation, which means we are under stress. Basically, what that means is when you stress the fuck out, your nervous system is dysregulated and your body is not functioning optimally. And so we have this ability to shift consciously into our parasympathetic, which is the opposite, right? Just by breathing. So I'm not going to go any deeper than that because it could be a whole nother live. But if you want to know, Google it. Go on YouTube. Vagus nerve, diaphragmatic breathing, all of that stuff, the benefits of it, it's amazing. The benefits to your body that just deep breathing can do. So I'll leave that.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen such a difference in just like when people be like, you need to calm down. Like that's what they mean. Like you literally need to calm down because one, when you're in fight or flight mode and your body is dysregulated, you can't even create.
Nope.
Like your shit is just stuck, stagnant. It's not free flowing. You can't create none of that, right? But when you really take those deep breaths, you can actually calm down. Yeah. Now you can create. Now you have created a gap between the way you may have normally responded and how you will respond now. And sometimes that's all you need. That's all you need. Like I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have done a lot of shit that if they would have just calmed down,
took a deep
take
breath.
a quick second, shit could have went very differently.
Listen, and I'm gonna add here,
could have been saved with that breathing shit.
Lives, relationships, people would listen. And I'm gonna add here, the neuroscience part of that is also yes. When your nervous system is dysregulated and your emotional center of your brain is activated, the limbic system, the amygdala, all of those parts, literally. Your prefrontal cortex, the thinking part of your brain, it cannot be activated. So when you are operating from a highly emotional state, you are actually incapable of thinking logically and rationally. So if you feel like you bugging the fuck out, it's because you bugging the fuck out.
Literally.
And the only way to be able to shift back is to calm your body, which can be done with this deep breathing and with pausing. So it seems like a simple solution to a big problem, but I assure you, if you don't believe us, go Google it. Go look at it. We're not making shit up. Like, it's true.
So if you crash out, that's what happened. Like when they say you crash, like you really fucking crash out. Like your shit really not working. The shit is not working. It's gone. There's nothing. Nothing. Nobody's home. Like there's no one home. That's some real shit. So when you see people
Nobody with senses
crashed
home.
out, nobody with senses home at all. So when we talk about this breathing stuff, like this shit really runs deep. It can stop you from crashing out. You might crash out the first time, but the second time you might be like, hold on. Those guys told me to breathe. Wait, let me just breathe. And then stop the crash out. So hey, for anyone, if you want to take that and run with it, but
seriously, and it doesn't take as long as you think. Even 90 seconds, 2 minutes. We're not talking about a whole meditation.
Nah.
We're actually just literally talking about calming yourself down. And the other tip I'll share to help you shift into logical thinking is to name your emotions. And I know when you're in the middle of an argument, that seems hard, but simply forcing yourself to put a name, a label to the emotion that you're feeling, that can also help you to shift into your logical thinking. And it can help to I can't think of that word. It's not desensitized, but it can just lower the effect of the emotions that they're having on you in that moment.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting, Dana.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. So that
makes sense, though. That makes so much sense.
So wait a minute. So you saying that the people who are addicted to the cigarettes and the vapes, the breathing is what makes them feel good, but they think it's actually like the cigarette or the vape, basically, instead of understanding that it could just be the deep breathing? If that's what you're saying, that's kind of crazy.
Correct. Okay.
Well, thank you.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Okay. But yes. Oh, thank you. All right. Okay. So that's correct. Well, listen, this is knowledge that you're sharing with the community here. So something to consider if that is you, that maybe you could try just the breathing, instead of every time going to the vape or going to the cigarette. No judgments, but maybe just try it, right? And see if that's helpful. So that's awesome. Girl, listen,
you made it to 1.4K likes. Oh my God, this is amazing.
That's exciting. This makes me happy. Listen,
wow.
Please. I'm putting it out there. Please follow me on TikTok. I'm new here and I'm so happy to be here. And I want to create a community as well that is similar and complementary to my sister so that we can both support you. So I would love it. If
y'all, my sister is great. She like the better version of me.
Shut up. No, you my big little sister. Everybody know this is my big little sister right here. So no. And what I love about when we get together is we really play well off of each other in terms of the way you help me to think and the way I may help you to think. So I think you guys are getting the best of both worlds. Let me just let y'all know by having us here right now. So
yeah, for real. And we have like different experiences, and I guess as we do these lives, we'll like dive into more of our backgrounds and stuff like that, and you guys can learn more about her. And yeah, we just have different life experience, but they kind of run parallel, and
they really do, which is why we are now here in this space, just trying to figure out how we can. I feel like there's a I love that. There's a responsibility that when you kind of have the knowledge that we have to really share it. I happen to think that we are curators. I love that word. We're curators of knowledge, right? We like to consume and read and listen to these things. So if we can come here and share this with you and y'all can take away one thing that's going to make it better for y'all, then that's amazing. Like, I ain't planning to be on here this long, but I'm excited. Y'all are here. I'm here. I was tired as hell before I know. I was real tired.
I'm going to be on for 25 minutes.
I definitely told her that. I don't even think I said 25. I said, girl, I got 20 minutes in me. I got 20 minutes.
It's been like an hour and 20.
This is what
That's
happens.
crazy.
This is what
So
happens. So
no, it does. But this is what we would have been doing anyway. We would have just been on the phone chatting.
instead of sharing this with y'all.
Anyway.
So I love that you guys are here. And I guess if y'all could leave in the comments, like, does this time work for y'all? Because it seems like it might. Because we're trying to find a time where y'all can join. So that would be helpful to us because we do want to come on more consistently and just make it so that y'all can be here too. So if y'all like this time, then maybe we could do that, a few times a week. But this is fun. I love this.
It's amazing. So I think that we were aiming at like 7 p.m. That time works for me. Today, what is today? Shit, today's Tuesday. So if y'all like it seems like the evening times might work better because we were gonna do 6:30, but we ended up doing 7. I guess between 7 and 9. So that seems like everybody's home from work. Everybody's kind of settled.
I like it. I like it. This is so exciting. I love this. So, I mean, we started off with just talking about, what was manifestation. And we talked about a little bit about raising your frequency. We talked a little bit about metaphysics and what's the other one that I keep
quantum physics.
We talked a little bit about that, and then we touched on nervous system regulation and the importance of really having faith and trusting in your vision, right? Staying positive, right? Being mindful of the people you keep around you and the energy of the people around you. Like,
everybody can't go.
Oh God.
I'm sorry,
but it sounds so fucked up.
But it's the truth. They really can't, and I feel like we need to normalize that because I feel like we don't be wanting to call it for what it is, but truly, Dana said, "Man, say that everybody can't." No.
Listen, this is what I say. She gonna say the things in the way that I may not say it, even though I agree. Everybody can't go.
Diplomatic than me.
I am,
but I'm gonna just say the shit like it is. Like, fuck, they can't go for real, and that's cool. They got their own journey. It's just not with me, and that's okay.
And that is okay. And that is okay. You're right. Okay. So, I mean, those were some of the things we talked about. So, I mean, yes, if any of those things that we talked about, if y'all want to hear more, we could literally dive in or episode about each of those things. But listen, we just here, and I think we both have a desire to help, you all transform, to help you achieve your dreams, your goals. I know for me, that's definitely a thing. I want to help people to transform. Yeah, I really do.
That's the not everyone. So we're both Virgos. We're like 12 days apart, 13 days apart. I'm a September Virgo. She's an August Virgo. My moon is a Pisces though, so I'm a little bit sensitive.
My moon is in Aries. I'm almost positive. I got the fire in there. It's just like a
that makes sense. I didn't know that.
Girl, I'm crazy. But it's just I have the potential for crazy, and over the years I have calmed it, and I got it very specific. So you got to do a few specific things to see all the crazy. But it's absolutely in.
Yo, that makes so much sense. Okay. Yes. Do you know what your rising sign is?
I think it's Virgo. I think it's Virgo as well. I have Virgo at 3 different parts of my chart, so I am a whole Virgo. I feel like
Virgo. Okay. Yeah. I think I'm in Aquarius rising. I'm still trying to figure out what that means.
And I have Venus in there. I have sorry, never mind. My Venus is in Cancer. That's what I wanted to say, if I'm not mistaken. So
there's
activities too.
I'm a Virgo rising. Yeah, Virgo's cool. Yeah, there's so many things that we could talk about. Like, we didn't even talk about human design. Like,
no,
my
goodness. We can't. We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back on the human design. Aw, I love that. Thank you, Dana. So look at it, 2000. I don't know what that means because I told y'all. I don't know, but if she's excited, I'm excited because I'm still new here. But this
we have never seen these numbers. I mean, this is only our second live, so I feel like that's really good. Damn, wow. That's amazing.
So this is motivation for us to come out and continue to talk and continue to just be in this space. If y'all like to hear it, we're gonna come in and we're gonna talk the positive that you need to hear. And again, like we said, it's not always about being positive.
Yes.
It's not always about that, because that's not real. Go ahead.
I was gonna add, it's not really that toxic positivity shit. Like, I know a lot of the manifestation community has that, like, oh, stay positive, da da da. Like, we're very well like tapped into the world, and we realize like shit is not always positive. We've had our own adversity in our life where we had to go through shit. Like, we understand that life is real, like shit is real. So I'm not gonna come here and tell you like, oh, just stay positive. Like, I know that shit be going down, right?
Girl, but I have to laugh because I'm going through some shit right now. Y'all see me here on this live, and I'm smiling because I'm happy to be here and I love doing this. But the real, I am going through some shit right now that I am. So this is interesting too. Actually, something that we didn't say is understanding that your current reality is a reflection of past thoughts. Right? Oh, past feelings, past frequencies. So when you're doing the work, right, and you're doing everything, you have to understand that there is what's that word? There's a delay. There can be a bit of delay in the shift, and seeing that shift and seeing your manifestation. So don't stop when you don't see what you're trying to manifest right away, because you have to understand that you spent a while residual. Yes, you spent a while in your old frequency, and your old frequency, it doesn't just want to up and go. It's an entity, right? So you have to remember, and that's what, and I say that to say, I'm telling myself that right now. There's some shit going on in the background, and I'm still staying on, nope, this is the vision. This is how the version of me that has the things that I want, this is how she feels. She wouldn't be focused on the bullshit that's happening right now. She's not giving that any energy, because where you give your energy to is what you're bringing up more of. And I don't want no more of that shit. I'm trying to let it go, right? So I'm going to show up here. And I'm not saying that everything is great. I'm actually telling you the truth. It's the opposite. But I have an awareness of what's happening, and I have an awareness of what I'm desiring to create. And so I am being intentional about curating my energy, right? So being here, doing this, being happy, this is bringing my frequency up. And I'm not thinking about the bullshit that's happening in the background. And when I get off, I'm going to be too tired to think about it. I'm going to take my ass to sleep, right? So I've effectively gotten through this day. And on to tomorrow.
No, dead ass. That's really how it be sometimes. I'll be telling y'all, shit really get real. Shit really get real. It get real sometimes. So, like you said, sometimes you really just have to know that your 3D circumstances can change. Shit is not fixed. And I think that is one of the hardest parts when you're on this journey of really understanding that because things are one way today, it does not mean that they're going to always be like that. And that is like probably the hardest shit to accept, because you seeing shit, you like, what do you mean? This bill not paid, or I'm living somewhere I don't want to live. I'm living somewhere
not the bills, not the bills,
not the bills. That's some real shit. Hey, listen, we're not gonna go down.
One thing I'm gonna say about bills. Listen, if y'all got credit cards and stuff, you call them people. You call them credit card people. You tell them that you are having a hardship. Let me tell you something. I called the credit card today because they put some damn annual fee, and that pushed my card up. And I called those people. I said, hey, lovely people. So I've been making these payments, and I see there's an annual fee on my card, and really I'm having some trouble right now, right? Is it possible for you to waive this fee? And the man was like, well, miss, they're going to tell you that they don't know, they got to get back to you. Whatever. Let them get back to you. He said, I'm going to talk to my manager. I'm going to email you. I kid you not. 2 hours later, I got an email. Miss Walker, we're going to give you a one-time courtesy. We're going to waive the annual fee because of X, Y, and Z. So sorry. I just had to add that because that happened today. Girl, that annual fee is waived. So you have to, you don't get so caught up in the thing. Yes, Zach. Yes, Z. Yes, call them for the overdraft fees. I had some overdraft fees. They may not waive them all, but they can waive some of them. There's always something that they can do. So I know it's easy to hide if you don't got the people and the money. I understand, but still call them. Talk to them. Don't hide. Sorry.
Nah, especially now.
Distracted.
Nah, that's some real shit. Sorry. Hey, man. Especially now. Like, call them, let them know.
Chanel, call them tomorrow. Nice and early. Let them know. There's certain words you have to ask them. Do you have anything for anyone going through hardships? Actually, there was some shit on the car where the man was like, you don't qualify because you're not behind X, Y, and Z amount of payments. I said, oh, I got to be behind to qualify? So listen, if y'all are out there behind, there are things specifically out there only for people who are behind on their payments. Girl, these are the things that you don't know. So call the people.
Absolutely.
Anyway, sorry, digress.
Oh shit, I forgot what we was talking about.
I'm sorry, that was my fault.
No, it's fine, it's fine. But that's real shit. People need to hear that and see that. Sometimes our pride might get in the way. We might not want to call. We embarrassed, we ashamed, whatever it is. Call them fucking people. Call them. Tell them to defer. They could do a lot right now. So yeah, you'll definitely be surprised.
I think we were just saying not to get caught up in, not to let all of it just hold you, not to let all of the negativity, all of the stress. It's not that you're not going to feel it, but I think what's important is how long you allow yourself to stay in that place. Yes, the 3D is slow. You know why the 3D is slow? Because it literally is slow. Like, it is the most dense level of reality. We're talking about quantum physics and things like that. The 3D is the physical plane. It is the slowest plane. It is the last. What is Nero? I'm not going to talk. Okay. So
we love Nero though. Shout out to Nero.
We love Nero. Yes, we do. We love Nero Knowledge, who be on YouTube. Yes. But I was listening to him earlier, and he was like, the 3D realm is the effect. It's the last thing. And he'll say that. He'll be like, people be trying to change an effect by changing an effect. You can't change an effect by changing an effect. You got to change the cause. And so the cause is the spiritual plane, right? The mental plane. There's the energetic. That's the cause. So yes, the 3D plane is slow, but that's the reason why. Because when you're playing around only dealing with things physically and not aligning your energy, everything is going to be very slow if the shit changes at all. To tell you the truth. So.
Yeah. So there's definitely things that will pop up in your 3D that's going to fucking trigger you, that's going to piss you off. All of that shit is going to try to throw you off track, make you lose sight of your vision. Like, it's really a lot, right? But we don't want to act like we're not in the 3D. Like, we're still human. We have those feelings. You have, the tightness in your chest, all of that shit. All of that shit still comes up. So essentially, it's just trying to manage your vision, the spiritual side, with the very human, tangible, what I can see, what I can touch side of life as well. And that can be challenging. You might know all the spiritual shit, but the 3D world shit is still triggering the fuck out of you, right? So it's just trying to figure out what that balance is and how to continue to move forward in spite of the shit that we're seeing, in spite of the fucking economy, in spite of your job pissing you off, in spite of all of these things. How are you going to still maneuver and move forward?
It's so interesting. Z just said Jesus wept. No, it's funny you said it and I laughed, but what that made me think of actually is crying. Like, everybody operates differently, but that weeping, that is actually an emotional release that can allow you to feel better. So if you are someone who is inclined to cry, that is absolutely a thing that you can do. And I know there are some people, particularly men too, right? Because men are not encouraged to cry. There's a whole narrative around strong men and showing weakness. But if you can get out of that idea and just allow yourself, whatever physical outlet, whatever your outlet is, lean into it. That is the thing that is going to help you to get through that moment. Emotions are one of the things I tell people in the trainings that I do like, emotional intelligence trainings, which is actually really important, but emotions are meant to be felt. They show up for a reason. One of the things I tell people, so if we believe that we are divinely made, right? If every part of us serves a purpose, right? We got 2 eyes, 1 mouth, 10 fingers, and we have emotions, and emotions are such a strong part of who we are. Why would that not be important? Why should we not be paying attention to how we feel? Why should we be putting it down and ignoring it? The shit don't make no sense. Everything we have is for a reason, right? So emotions are meant to let us know that something is going on. They want to be acknowledged. They want to be released. And the faster you do that is the faster you allow them to move through you. And then you can get on the other side of it. It's when you try and act like that's not how you feel. Right? It's when you try and act like it's not important that you're sad or whatever the case may be. That's when you be out here really messed up. So
Emotions are energy in motion. And
absolutely.
one thing that I learned going through therapy, she was a therapist that specialized in somatic therapy. She would ask me, like, where in my body am I feeling certain things, right? And that was my first time being exposed to that type of therapy. So it was, where in my body do I have certain feelings? And one thing that she encouraged was just truly feeling emotions. Like, I think sometimes when you're feeling an emotion and it's really intense, you feel like that shit will kill you. Like, you feel like if you literally just sit down and feel that shit, that you are going to perish, right? But there are times, like, that's literally how the shit feel. But there are times that I'm like, okay, if I want to really sit with this emotion, because you want to be able to feel it and process it so you can release it. If you don't feel it, you can't process it and you won't be able to release it. I would literally just sit with emotions that I felt were very big, and it might feel bad for, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 seconds, like the bigness of it, and then it would pass. And I did this on multiple occasions, and that is what kind of created a safe space for me to feel those emotions that I felt were so big, instead of suppressing it and saying, nah, I don't feel like that, and doing other things, right? That's when you start getting into the self-soothing shit. Smoking weed, you drinking, you doing everything because you don't want to deal with that shit that you really feel, but that shit ain't going nowhere. Right? So you could do everything, but until you actually acknowledge that you feel this big emotion and you process it, it's going to stay there. And not only that, if you don't process it, it can lead to a whole other shitload of health problems and all that other shit down the line. But yeah.
And things of that nature. Now, I agree with everything you just said. The other things I'll add that sometimes you are doing the best that you can. And I get it, right? So when when you're talking about people who are smoking or drinking or, doing other things, these are coping mechanisms because you may not have the tools that you need to be able to process the emotions, right? Because one of the things you mentioned is that you had a therapist, right? You had a therapist, you had someone who was able to guide you through that process. So I agree 100% that is the work. But I also think that people need to find support as they go through that work. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a therapist.
Right.
It can be a safe space. It can be a coach, a mentor, a friend, a sister, but just make sure that you do have some support as you are trying to acknowledge and process those emotions. And for the people who are in the space of coping mechanisms, I spent years of my life in a space of the best I could do was coping mechanisms. Do what you can do for as long as you need to do it until you can do better. And this also includes people who are taking prescription medication, right? Anti-depressants, anti-anxiety. These are things that are helping you get through at this moment because maybe that's the best you could do right now. And that is quite fine, right? You do that until you build up the fortitude, you build up the resources to be able to do better. But I do agree 100% that yes, the emotions are meant to be processed, and as soon as you are able to, this is when you'll really begin to make that forward motion. But it's okay where you are.
Yeah, I absolutely do agree. You definitely need a safe space or container in which to help you process these emotions. Because by yourself, you really might just crash the fuck out. And we are trying to reduce the number of crash outs that are taking place on this live. Okay.
Yes, please. Yeah, every time I hear this term, I die because I remember the first time you told me about crashing the fuck out. I said, "There's people out here, people just crashing out." He was like, "Yeah, this is crashing out." I said, "Oh."
Yo, it's some real shit, y'all. It's some real shit. So but I get it though. I get it. Should I call myself a retired crash out? I don't know, man. I feel like I'm liable to tap back into that shit. But for right now, we're trying to get away from that. So
we're minimizing
right. So we're trying to give like little tools and tips and processes that we can do to help reduce this. They just said I'll crash out, right? Chanel said I've been doing good. Thank you. darling.
I love that.
Trying. You
No,
see, I've been
Dana.
trying so hard.
No, Dana, hold on.
Dana dead ass too. I believe her. Like she's not lying. She's dead ass not lying. That's crazy. But yeah, so we're just trying to offer these different tools and things that we've both gotten along our journey between therapists, mentorship, like all different types of things, because all of these are resources, right?
Absolutely. I definitely had my stint. Matter of fact, I need a therapist right now. That's a whole nother conversation. No, I'm sorry. I know that sounds crazy. I don't mean it. I don't mean it because I'm in a state of like disrepair, even though that's okay too. But what I actually mean is I think that everyone should just have a therapist on deck. That's actually what I mean. In the same way that you go see a doctor for your physical body, I feel like people need to have therapists on deck for their mental. That's what I meant. So because it's been a little while. It's been a little while. But they're very very helpful in getting through. Listen,
I'm a therapist. I can't keep using shit, and I can't keep using Chanel. Oh my god, y'all are hilarious.
I cannot listen. Oh my goodness, this has been so. I had to go get my little battery pack for my phone.
Oh shit.
The phone's about to die. Your phone is probably about to die too.
No, my phone on 100. It been on the charger, but we gonna go.
Well,
okay,
yes,
guys.
like these, Dana, I am so happy that you found this to be helpful. Listen, Anastasia, our mother has texted me and said that we've been on live for long enough.
She texted me that too. Why she text me that?
Because she said that we've been on for long enough. So listen, y'all, it has been so amazing. Please see you next Tuesday. Okay, we're gonna put it. Yes.
Okay, next Tuesday. It's a date.
So we're gonna put it in the calendar. So we will be back next Tuesday at 7. We might be back before then. If I know my sister, she's gonna be on my phone like, hey, you wanna get back on live? But we will also be back next Tuesday at 7. And please, friends, please, I am asking, please follow me at Dream Big Create. I am trying to create, a little space here. If y'all will have me here in this TikTok community, I'm working on creating a space here. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. So we'll be back next week. Share the live with a friend that you want to see there. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for showing up. Yes. And I'm so excited to see you guys next week.
Yes. All right, friends. Have a good night. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.